President William Samoei Ruto has asked Musalia Mudavadi and a host of the party leaders of 18 fringe parties within Kenya Kwanza Alliance to fold the fringe parties and form one mainstream party known as the UDA. This is a departure from an initial plan to make the party be called Kenya Kwanza. Welcome to the Bold Analysis. My name is Kevin Oduor. In this podcast, I want us to reveal the mutilation of political parties at Kenya Kwanza Alliance simply because there are some lessons from Jubilee Party that leaders have refused to remember. And so, UDA Party is preparing for grassroots elections next month in February to give the party its structures from the village to the national level. Now, the 18 fringe political parties, including ANC, Ford Kenya, and PA, of that of Amason Kingi, and even Maendeleo Chapchap by Alfred Mutua, amongst the other parties, in Kenya Kwanza will be clumped into one political party, and that mainstream party is called UDA. So I finally reconcile with the fact that some of my subscribers here had been reminding me at the electioneering time that there was nothing like Kenya Kwanza. What was existing is UDA, United Democratic Alliance. Kenya Kwanza was a brainchild of Musalia Mudavadi days before he crossed over to join William Ruto. And so the earthquake man is also being under siege. It is politically in order and it's natural for, of course, a sitting president to consolidate votes and planning while trying to plot his re-election. But parties should also be wary. I want to take a break and speak to you, the Kenyan voter. Political parties, I've always said that political parties are normally used to blind the voter. And the party euphoria is significantly built to blind the hustler from unmet pledges that President Ruto, things that President Ruto promised. I will not be shocked that in the next general election, the discussion will not be centered on, I promised you this, I have delivered it, so give me a second chance. But the narrative will be that we are forming a party with a national outlook, and so you better join this party so that we remove the politics of tribal cocoons. Ladies and gentlemen, dear Kenyans, on this one, I think it is in order for any person to form a mainstream political party, but it should not be used to blind you. I am against framing regions in this country as Party A region, Party A stronghold, so that in those areas you will be made to understand, and leaders are normally very gullible. No one wants to go against the grain. President Ruto has known that things are not still organized on the Raila Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka side. And so when he runs with this move faster as early as 2023 and makes that party, everyone will be scrambling to be within the UDA party, simply because you know that when I'm in UDA, I'm going to get my position. So during the last meeting by leaders who lost in the last election, President Ruto told them that he's planning for them to give them a job so that they will be spearheading the merger process of all the political parties under Kenya Kwanza. Then through that, I can tell you that these poll losers will embrace that decision so that they can entrench themselves as party ranking members and stalwarts in in the event that they also claim that by the time the tickets will be dished, they will stand a better chance of getting the party tickets. To the Kenyan voter, it is equally important for you not to lose the track of tracing what the leader promised you. Starting all the way from the MCA to the members of parliament to the senators and the governors, you should never be blinded in the next general election to voting an MP, a senator, an MCA, and a governor, a president, in the context of party euphoria. Don't be blinded. Otherwise, after 5 years, we'll be back here reminding you that you made a blunder. ANC and other parties will be divided in pledging loyalty to William Ruto's political ambition or holding their party's identity and values. I can tell you that President Ruto is trying to craft this party, and that's why he wants to form it as early as 2023, so that he can build that euphoria and will use the ruling party structures to articulate government projects to the fanatical supporters. What I'm telling you is, if it materializes, we are going to see fanatical following that, like that of what we witnessed in this country in the run-up to 2017 general elections. I've seen people talking about this and trying to figure out that in terms of possibility. Let us not, it should not be lost to us that it is President Ruto that crafted the Jubilee coalition in the run-up to 2017. And he was the man who was in charge of the Jubilee party. Formation of Jubilee party. Convincing all these French parties to join and form Jubilee, and then he was in charge of nominations at the Jubilee party, where he conducted every other transaction that he wanted to see achieved. So on this one, I can tell you that you will fold that party, join that UDA party, and then all of you will be subjected to nominations. And you know what happens is this. Because President Ruto is a man who has one strength, that his hands on everything, he'll be in a position to decide whether you're going to get that governor seat or not, whether you're going to get that senator seat or not. Because after forming party euphoria, it will kill the strength of individuals. And what that means is, with him getting one big party that everyone wants to be in, anyone who will be given that ticket will be in a position to get the seat. And I can tell you through this, he'll be even in a position to plant people in Mount Kenya and manage his succession politics. I don't want to take it beyond there. This is a chopping board sharpened against Musalia Mudavadi. Forget about the Jubilee rapture. The UDA rapture can be messy, and noisy. However, this is a wake-up call to Azimio la Umoja. And to the Azimio la Umoja ranks, who, according to me, are, if you ask me, are most disgruntled, and what is causing a lot of that confusion is whether Raila Odinga is going to vie or not, and the exit of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, who, according to me, seem to be still stuck with Raila Odinga. But the only breakthrough in Azimio is Kalonzo Musyoka, someone going to say Kalonzo Musyoka Tosha. I maintain, this has been my position, and I'm waiting to see, if God gives me life, whether it's going to come through. I maintain that Azimio la Umoja should be dead as we speak. It should, if it is not yet dying, it should be poisoned, and it should die, that Azimio la Umoja coalition as of now. Because it was short-lived, it was made on very weak structure. It was simply made, let's go and form government. If you can't form government, it has no sense. That's why you see Charity Ngili is nowhere, Hassan Joho, the Oparanya are not anywhere. You see, it's not there. That Azimio la Umoja coalition is not there. So anyone planning a political tsunami, but those competing against William Samoei Ruto, must take their place now. What to Kalonzo Musyoka? Instead of running out telling Raila to endorse you, take Ruto head on now. Otherwise, the bitter words of Mzee Atuoli that he defeated you with deep state and all those states, what tells you that you can defeat it now? We may have, I think Azimio may have to contend with those harsh facts. It is at the moment now that Azimio should create us versus them, a parallel of the UDA party. Without that, I see Wiper going their way, ODM going their way, Jubilee going their way, and other parties. But Jubilee has a high probability of being absorbed in that UDA if President Ruto leaves it to the hawk-eyed Jeremiah Kionis. I insist, this is a wake-up call. Kenyans should start feeling the difference now. If there is, we should kill Azimio as we speak by yesterday, and after killing Azimio, come up with what can then play catch-22 to the UDA party. Because President William Ruto is 3 steps ahead of any competitor if that competitor is not Raila Odinga. If it will be Raila Odinga, it can be 1 step or 2 steps ahead. But if it is any other candidate apart from Raila Odinga, William Ruto is 5 steps ahead of that candidate. So we should never, the election come, create the difference between you and William Ruto as of now, not just a rushed coalition built on convenience without ideology that can rumble after an election. You need to make an ideological movement that even if you don't beat Ruto in 2027, you stand a high chance of taking over in 2032. And I don't appreciate the narrative that no one can be defeated. I don't think that's what our democracy should be. If Ruto is to be defeated, the gentleman thing approach is to give power the way President Ruto gave power. President Uhuru Kenyatta gave power. That should be it. So the discussion of whether is going to accept or not, I don't think that we should even be talking about that. Kindly subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell. Also share the videos with many. This is a moment of reckoning for one man, Musalia Mudavadi, and the son of Mudamba. Without a very compelling legal framework, I think ANC should not fold of all those parties. Musalia Mudavadi has a chance of consolidating Western around him and take advantage of bringing Atuolis and the Oparanyas around him and consolidate Western, then make a decision whether to support William Ruto or form another force to go against William Ruto in 2027 or even in the next election. He has that option. But if he takes the bait and goes ahead just to ramble to follow that ANC, I'm telling you, the Mulembe nation, the unit of Mulembe nation will rumble. Because why I'm saying that this is going to happen is President Ruto will smartly replace the regional emblems with political party circles, political party stalwarts in those areas. The most powerful person in UDA from Western may not be Musalia Mudavadi, but a deputy party leader who can be picked from Western. And remember, according to the constitution, Musalia Mudavadi cannot take a party position. So even if we are to form this one big party, Musalia Mudavadi cannot be a deputy party leader. He cannot take any party, any leader position. So if you go there and pick Malala as a deputy party leader of the new formed UDA party, then what do you expect? Malala will actually play the big boy role and eclipse Musalia Mudavadi. So that's why this is being crafted, and it has a big impact on actually what the transition or the succession look like. If Ruto gets the second term with Musalia, with Rigathi Gachagua, what does it mean is consolidating. UDA will consolidate their bid, and Rigathi Gachagua will automatically feel like, okay, I should eclipse, I should inherit presidency. That's what might have even caused a fallout between William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta. William Ruto wanted inheritance, but that was not forthcoming. So if this is to happen, I want to, all the other three parties is, rethink Ruto Gachagua tickets. If it's going to be best, the new party is going to be based on ideology and democracy, then if party leader becomes the presidential candidate, then rethink this so that Musalia, Kidiki, who anyone can become the deputy president. But then the question is this: so with the party euphoria, how would you relate this to a quest to change the constitution? That's my take. Just a rhetorical question for you. Are they related? That's my end.